Now when you see the play as a witness of the destroying forces, you will know how to also maintain yourself better. To separate yourself is easier when you take to austerity. The worst thing that elements have done to you is that you have formed habits, all kinds of hangs-up. Some people are fond of bathing, some people are fond of not bathing. Some people are fond of getting early in the morning, 4 o'clock, and singing songs and waking up everyone, and some are good at sleeping till 10 o'clock. Some like very light colored dresses, some like very loud colored dresses. If you are English, then you want to have English style everything. Horrible insipid food. If you are French, you want to have wine little bit. If you are Italian, you want to have carbohydrates too much. If you are Spanish, you want to have too much fats. If you are Indians, you want to have too much of spices. So to change this habit, you have to give first of all the extremes that you like. Now if you say that I like bland food, then you should say I must eat lot of chilies. If you say I like pale colors, then you wear very loud ones. Go from one extreme to another extreme to begin with. But I have seen people, when they go from one extreme, they get stuck up on the other side also. So we have to be in the center, not to the extremes. A man who is an Avadhuta, the one who is a great master, can never be hanged up by any hangs up. He cannot be ruled by any ideas that I like this. He sees beauty in the lush greenery, and he sees beauty in the trees which are devoid of any leaves. Now the trend of getting to austerity in a very funny way has started in the West. Like, if you comb your hair, then you are no good. If you do not smell in the body, then you are no good. If you don't look like a pig, you are no good. All kinds of funny sort of ideas have crawled into the mind because they are going to the other extreme. But we have to learn from the nature. Nature dresses up itself when it has to greet the spring. And when it is the winter, it just gets completely undressed, I should say, because the leaves have to go to the Mother Earth and that the sun has to reach the Mother Earth. It is not attached to anything. Surprisingly, it is much more elemental than we are. While we who are spiritual should have no attachment. But this idea is also a mental idea, which is the worst attachment. It's a very funny attachment, which makes me laugh. That's the biggest joker I've seen, that people get attached to mental ideas. It is like believing that whatever you think mentally will just happen to you. Say for a mental person, he has to go to picnic. He will mentally put in his mind, he is going to take this, that and that. He may even open a file and write it down that I'm going to take this and this and this with me. And when he goes to the picnic, he'll find he's high and dry because he's not taken anything with him. It's all in the file. Your mother is good at speaking and she speaks to you, but it should not be your mental attachment. Like, yes, mother says so and everybody discusses with such great enthusiasm, this is that, but it's not become part and parcel of your being. But it's a very common attachment nowadays with all the people knowing about everything and having nothing. This mental attachment is to be really attacked. Becoming a seeing, Becoming is experiencing. Becoming is seeing, it is experiencing. Like if I have to come to this place, I must come and see it. If only I have thoughts about it and mental idea, mental picture, it is no good. It's not mine. It's not the truth. So when you become aware, actually what happens? That you see it yourself. So let us see. Get out of that mental conception that you know already about. You do not know, because what you know is just mental. That should be a part and parcel of your being. Now how to do it? Some will say that we'll just go on being austere about it. Then that will become again another obsession. Some will say, all right, Mother has said we should enjoy, so we'll just enjoy. How to strike the balance is the big problem, but should not be with people who have vibratory awareness. In that also you can be obsessed. I have seen people talking as if they are all great Sahaja Yogis and no vibrations and saying they are getting vibrations. It is so deceptive. So one has to think that we have to go further and see more and more and know about it. But if you then ask a French, how are you? Then under the influence of this they'll say, like this. That means they are always in imbalance. You ask an Englishman, he'll say, don't know. Or they say, I know. There's nothing in between. Now, we have to understand that we are carrying a light in our hand. And the light should not shake. We have to hold the light tight. And we should have a concentrated attention towards the maintenance of the light. And then to tell yourself that we have to see, not to just understand mentally, is to be actually aware, because you are complete otherwise. You are the part and parcel of the whole. You are. But only think that you have not yet seen that. You have mentally accepted, but you have not become. Because mental projection comes from thought. That means you are at the level of the thought. You have to become thoughtless. But if you live on the basis of thought, then you are still below the archangel. So all the thought waves must be stopped to begin with and should say that, all right, let us see now. So from the Nabhi chakra, you come up to the Agya chakra. Then above that comes the third problem of destruction is emotional. The emotional is a very subtle one. Like some people, Sahaja Yogis, will sit down with a guitar and will start singing as if they are all lovebirds. What is it? What is it? Come now, come. What has happened? Why are you crying? Come to me. All right. Just take her away. She's got a... So the most delicate one is the emotional. This emotional one is a collectivity in a camouflage. For example, when the Sahaja Yogis will meet, they'll hug themselves, kiss each other, and will be very, very nice to each other, you see, and sit down and sing songs like hippies. Take the guitar in the hand and swing on the tune of love. This is actually, we should be at the collectivity point. And that, of course, is very difficult to get rid of, because it gives you a very comfortable feeling. And people get confused with emotions. They think it is choice. Joy only can be achieved through complete detachment. The detachment which is egoless and super-egoless. But now, the problem that human beings start facing is the assumption that they are gurus. They start speaking about Sahaja Yoga, talking about Sahaja Yoga, and they start thinking that they have become already Shri Krishna. They have even a greater ego than the person who is actually ignorant about Sahaja. Ignorant about Sahaja. They start talking with such tremendous ego that I am myself frightened of them. How much they know about Sahaja Yoga, I sometimes think. And they start asserting it so much that it's frightening. All this can be also said that they feel that protocol is not all right and there should be proper protocol, so we are looking after the protocol, we are the guards of the protocol, or all these things there. Now, those who are on the emotional side see the ego of others, while those who are on the ego side see the emotions of others. So, one criticizes another. But they don't see themselves that they are falling a trap into one of the extremes. So, unless and until you are detached, you cannot see it. I will not say I committed a mistake, but it happened to be a mistake. For the first 3 years of Sahaja Yoga, I never talked of a booth. I thought I'll be able to manage without that. But a lady came in Sahaja Yoga who was possessed and who tried all kinds of tantric tricks, so I had to tell her. Now every Sahaja Yogi is a bundle of booths.
Chaque Sahaja Yogi est une gerbe de booth.
You ask any Sahaja Yogi, why did you do it? Must be a booth. If you say that, how is it that you have done such a thing, then they will say that I do not know, it's the booth who has done it. They are never there, all the booths are there. Now I don't understand how to deal, even as a guru, because if my disciples are there, I can tell them, but if there are booths, what do I have to tell them? I can talk to Sahaja Yogis, but not to booths. They won't listen to me. So this is the greatest escape that Sahaja Yogis have found now, which is the worst, which was never before. So sometimes I feel it was a mistake I introduced this word booth. They excuse themselves by just saying, Mother, it is some negativity. Unless until there is something in you that contains the negativity, how can there be negativity? If you are detached, if like stone, then you cannot contain this negative water in itself, in it. You don't become more negativity, you become more a guru. Now, when I say that you should not be negative, supposing under such circumstances you should not be a booth, you should be yourself, then they start feeling guilty. So all kinds of anti-guru tricks are working out. I am your guru, and it is anti your guru to play these tricks upon yourself. Now you will play these tricks with me. What's the use? You have to gain something, and you are playing tricks against yourself if you are playing them against me. You have to be more aware. You are not to be destroyed. Apart from that, you have to save others. How will you do it? In case if you do not accept that it is your privilege, that it is your fortune, that you have been chosen to be the medium of God's work. Sometimes I feel all the booths have come to me for realization and I am not going to become a booth myself. Bhut also means, Bhutanath is the name of Sri Shankaraj, Sri Shiva. Because he gets after the bhoots all the time. But you have to be the present and not the bhoot. Bhoot means the past. Then what is there to be known? You become. When you are in the present, you just start becoming, evolving, blossoming. Try to be in the present. Do not escape the present. Face it. Don't feel guilty nor blame the bhoot. Both things are going to take you away from the present. Now just see the whole nature, the whole divine power. Your ardent desire of ages. Everything is on your side. The time has come. You are just there. What are we to do? Just stand in the center, at the axis. Try to keep yourself at the axis. And then you just see the periphery moving, you don't mind. When you see yourself misbehaving in any way, punish yourself. It is better that you punish than the divine punishes you, because that's a severe punishment. But do not feel guilty, because you have not done anything wrong. It's the bhoot which has done. So, we come to the point that we should realize that we are gurus and we cannot be bhoots. We have to change our outside also to become good gurus. For example, we have to learn good manners. Then these manners become your nature. Sometimes people who are very fond of food, I always tell them they should fast. Whatever you are fond of, try to give up. Try to overcome your sicknesses of attachments, your habits. Once your Guru Tattva is established, you will be accepted as a Guru. There will not be any need for you to say that you are a Guru. People will know that you are. We don't have to then write on our foreheads that we are Gurus. People will know that this is a Guru walking. You can see the divinity walking. You can see the divinity walking, the glory coming up. You have to change from within. And the light of that within enlightenment will be shown outside. But it should not be a mental idea or an emotional idea, but should be the happening, the becoming, the awareness. You have to experience through your own experimentation upon yourself. Even I do that. When I cannot reach you from one end because you are a bhoot, I reach you from the other. If somebody says he is a bhoot, then I see that he suffers a little and faces it, the bhoot in him. For example, I tell someone that please do this, and he forgets completely about it. And he says it is a bhoot that has done. So then he loses his purse, and then I say the bhoot must have taken away the purse. But I experiment with myself. I first see how I should approach you. If it doesn't work out, I try something else within myself, because it's a very tricky time we are with. If we had gone according to the Shariat or the chapter of Levi, all the bhoots would not have been here. Maybe no Sahajogis might have been left also. And this mental projection is such a common thing that is difficult to detach people. But only way I can play tricks with you is by experimenting myself on you. In the same way, you must play with yourself and try to put yourself in an experimental box.